Check out this amazing revamp of Kopaka Mata. It's really well made, and there's so many brilliant building techniques that are packed into this beauty. In this video, I'm going to discuss some of those amazing techniques. I'll also show off some of the amazing part usage, the clever designs. We're going to deep dive into this mock and see how it's built. And hopefully doing so will give you some ideas and some inspiration. This is Kopaka Mata, built better. So this wonderful creation was built by Patrick Biggs, a very talented man. And I got to see this in person at Brick Fair, Virginia 2024. Here's a little side-by-side with this mock and Kopaka Mata. This revamp does a really good job of capturing the essence of the set, but modernizing it and adding to it in a really nice way. Adding in a few personal touches. For starters, one of my favorite details on this mock is the inclusion of all of these white wing pieces to make it look like he's wearing some kind of medieval fur collar. These winged feather pieces appear on the backs of various Chima minifigures, like Era's, for example. A fur pelt style collar, it reminds me of the kind of attire that you see in Game of Thrones. And I think this look partners really well with a Toa of Ice, because they live in cold climates that are snowing all the time. Why wouldn't you wear stuff like this? It just makes sense. And actually, looking back at Jon Snow's coat, he's got these leather straps on his torso. They actually look kind of similar to this black steering wheel piece on the torso. Perhaps this piece is trying to replicate a similar look to this image. Or perhaps the black circle in the middle of the chest is a callback to the black ball joint that we can see on the original Kopaka Mata's torso. Look, whatever it's referencing, it looks really cool. And I'm quite a big fan of this waist design. The very center uses a black tire piece. I believe it's this one specifically. A modern LEGO set that comes with a few of them is this Spider-Man set. But yeah, of course, this tire has been turned inside out, and it gives it a brand new, very smooth appearance. And it's partnered quite nicely with these bar pieces. The bars have a lot of these bushing elements attached all down the middle. This gives off quite a nice robotic and mechanical look, and it's certainly a callback to the original Mata torso, the one that we see on Kopaka Mata. I always like seeing stuff like this. You keep the same aesthetic, but you recreate it in a different way. Oh yeah, and at the very base of the waist, we see this nice little white flag piece. This comes in many different sets in many different colors, one of which is this cute little Pirates of the Caribbean polybag. And man, this was a good polybag. Look at all those pieces and that beautiful minifigure. Anyway, I like how the angled shape of this piece makes it look like it's blowing in the breeze. Patrick could have easily used the rectangular version of this flag piece, which also came in this polybag. And that would have looked fine. It would have accomplished the exact same thing. But this angled piece, it has a nice wind-swept look to it. It makes the figure seem more heroic. It brings to life in your imagination, images of Kopaka standing up in the mountains, wind blowing in the breeze. One of those action shots you see on all the heroic characters in movies. Using this piece kind of matches that vibe. What a nice touch. Sometimes the smallest little details can add so much. Another fabric-inspired section is this little piece of red cloth that's wrapped around Kopaka's arm. This is a callback to this image of Matoran Matoro, who has a little red flag attached to him. I like this. What a cute way to tie these two characters together. So this is made by getting a red CCBS armor piece and then attaching one of these inkwells into the bar connection. The back of that inkwell does have space for you to then attach this plume. This plume comes in red on various Monkey King figures. And if you want one of those inkwell pieces, you get a few of them in this postcard set. You can see one just down the bottom here. And then on this same arm, we can see a nice string of Krana. This is another brilliant reference. There was this old promotional image that showcased Kopaka with a string of Krana, presumably from a bunch of Borok that he defeated, and he's collecting their Krana masks. This picture goes so hard, and it's delightful to see it recreated in physical form. Oh, and then this arm design. God, every square inch of this mock is beautiful. I really like how this looks. The kind of grated texture of this arm, it's similar to the arm design that we see on Kopaka's sword arm, back in that OG set. So how is this made? Well, it starts off with this hand socket piece, and then attached inside is likely some type of bar connection. And yeah, this is just placed into the axle hole on that hand socket. Connected onto the bar are two of these Travis bricks, aka a 1x1 brick with studs on all sides. Then attached onto two of the sides are these ingot pieces. The stud of the Travis brick would be attached into the middle of this ingot piece. Then on the opposite side of those Travis bricks, we have some 1x1 plates and some 1x1 tiles on top of those plates. The final stud on the Travis brick at the very end would then connect to the back of this headlight brick. And then you place a little 1x1 tile on the top. And then on the end of the headlight brick, you place a 1x1 hollow stud. And finally, the inside gap of that stud, you would put this toe ball piece with a bar connection. And then that mixel joint can link into other mixel joint related pieces to make the hand. What a brilliant design. Well, yeah, and then I guess related to this hand, we have Kopaka's new and enhanced sword. I like that Patrick is using a silver version of Kopaka's iconic blade. Because, you know, the original set used a white one, but a silver one in this context looks way better. Where do these come from in silver? Well, only in one set. And it's not a Bionicle set. It's from this old Technic set. You get two of them, and they're used as helicopter rotors. Interesting. Oh, but the best part about this sword has to be the guard on the hilt. This is made using some silver torso armor that comes on some Chima minifigures. Using minifigure torso pieces for sword detailing on a Bionicle? That's crazy. This is some genius stuff right here. Continuing to move down, we have a really cool upper leg design. How is this made? Well, the main structure of it is using some kind of axle. And on either end of this axle, we use these socket pieces. Then somewhere in the middle of the axle, there'd be a ball joint piece. One of these. The ball joint would then help attach this light bluish grey armour on the side. Where does that armour come from? Well, of course, it comes on the Boba Fett Ultra Build set. It's also used on his upper legs. Then somewhere else on this axle, we have a Technic brick linked on. Branching off of the studs on this Technic brick, we would place this 2x4 plate. I don't know why I'm saying we, Patrick did this. Patrick then placed this 2x4 plate, and on the studs of that plate, you'd put a few ingots, and then at the top there's a 2x2 jumper, and on the top of the stud of that jumper, one more ingot. And that's the leg design. Man, breaking down some of the ways that parts of this mock have been built, it just goes to show how good of a builder Patrick is. These designs rock. Ooh, and then I really enjoy this boot design. I like that we got a few more of these feathers down here. It makes me think he's wearing some kind of fur-lined boots. And you can see the fur poking out on top. Again, perfect for those colder climates. And perfect for a toa of ice. And speaking of which, Kopaka is standing on a very professional looking base. A nice black border makes it look like an art piece in a museum. And this little hint of snow on top. Simply stunning. Man, it's the little stuff like this that adds so much. Oh, and one more detail before we finish off. Here's Kopaka's neck. It's using one of these double-sided CCBS sockets. I tell you what, this is a very helpful piece. It comes in a set like this one. You kind of need to get a closer look to see where it is. It's right here. But yeah, using it in this mock, it's a pretty easy way to give that old Mutta head a little bit more posability. Because, you know, that original Mutta head, it couldn't pose at all on the original set. It was very much locked in place. And that is a closer look at this incredible mock. Hopefully studying some of these techniques got your creative juices flowing, and you're ready to build your next Bionicle mock. And if you liked this creation, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. I've got links to Patrick's social media right there. Give him a follow, leave a like, and let Patrick know what you think of his wonderful mocks. But that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, happy building, and bye for now.